Hi Dimes. Okay, so this is actually a review and a tutorial. It's a review of Shany Cosmetics palette, and you know what's funny is I don't actually remember the name of this particular palette, but I will place it like on the bottom in like annotations or what have you. But Shany Cosmetics, and I've mentioned it in one or two of my other videos and certainly in a blog post or two, and it is a company like what you've often heard of, BH Cosmetics, Coastal Scents. It's one of those, but it's one of the lesser known companies. And I have been just getting such a kick out of this palette, which I haven't used a whole lot, but I'm starting to use a lot more. And I just think it's a great beginner palette. Oftentimes you hear of people, even I've said before to some of you Dimes, is you know, if you're just starting out, you want to get like a BH Cosmetics first or third edition palette or a Coastal Scents palette where it's like 120 colors, 88 colors or whatever. And this obviously doesn't have that many colors, but I think it has enough for the beginner. And oftentimes those 120 or 160, 88 color palettes can be overwhelming. Whereas this palette has kind of a color in pretty much every family, and you can do so many looks. And the colors here are for the most part pretty matte. And I've used it for this look today, and it's this palette that I've been using and that I feel that you can just kind of keep in your travel bag. If you just want to bring one palette, this is it. Now BH Cosmetics has a palette that is I think it's their birthday palette, and it looks very, very similar to this. But the difficulty with BH Cosmetics is I don't order from there a whole lot because you are I mean, obviously to get the free shipping and to make it worth it, you oftentimes have to spend $50. And I really, at this point in the game, I have so much makeup that I don't need to spend $50. I don't need any brushes or anything from them. So the reason I purchased this one is because you can shop through Amazon Prime if you are an Amazon Prime member, or just order through Amazon, which is so easy, and you get it in like 2 or 3 days, if that. And so that's why I got it. And the pigmentation, I have to tell you, this palette is just absolutely amazing. I'm just gonna swatch a color for you really quickly here so you can see. But it's just absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful palette. So many colors. In fact, the tutorial I'm doing today, I'm using kind of a peachy thing going on. So I've got all peach colors on. And it took everything in me. I really wanted to do this bright green here. I wanted to do it on the lower lash line. I thought peach and bright green, but figured with the top I'm wearing, and certainly I know you Dimes really like those neutral eye looks. So that's why I use this palette. Anyway, it's Shany Cosmetics. You can shop through Amazon. I'll put a link below where you can actually purchase the palette. It's about $11, I believe, or maybe like $11.50. At the most, it's 12 bucks. I think at the time I bought this, it may even have been $10. Great, great, great dime piece friendly. Great pigmentation, highly pigmented. Yeah, and that's it, Dimes. So the color on my lips, as you'll see, is a Wet n Wild lipstick that I reviewed recently. So anyway, Dimes, if you are interested in doing this look, please keep watching and go ahead and order the Shany Cosmetics palette because it's great. Anyway, bye, Dimes. Let's get started right away with the eye. We're going to use an eyeshadow primer. This one is by e.l.f. Eyes Lips Face, and it costs $1 at Target. We're going to go ahead and place that all over the lid and the lower lash line. This helps to keep our eyeshadow in place all day. Next, I'm going to use my Maybelline 24-Hour Cream Shadow Color Tattoo in Fierce and Tangy, and this is because it's an orange color. It definitely gives that peach we're going to be placing on the lid a little bit more pop. And I'm using a cream shadow brush, and this one is by Echo Tools, and I got it at Rite Aid. And I'm just blending it out with my finger. Next, we're going to dip right into that Shany Cosmetics Boutique palette and dipping into that peach on the bottom panel and using a flat shadow brush. This one is by Coastal Scents, but you can use the e.l.f. dollar brush. Any flat regular shadow brush will do. And we're placing this color all over the lid, even pulling it a little bit above the crease because I have slightly hooded eyelids, and leaving just the outer corner free of shadow. Next, we're going to use our Sally Girl Chocolate Shadow, which is a dupe for MAC's Saddle, and it's a skin-toned brown for me. I'm using it as a transitional color to blend out any harsh lines. Next, we're going to go ahead and dip into that Boutique palette again, into that other chocolatey brown that's in the palette. We're going to place this now into the outer V and a little bit more into the crease as well. And you can actually stop here, but I'm going to continue and place the darker brown shadow to add additional dimension, focusing even more on the outer V to give it that smoky, but daytime smoky effect. Next, I'm going to take out my e.l.f. dollar blending brush. We're just going to blend all those colors in together, making sure everything is seamless and we don't have any harsh lines. And because I experienced a little bit of fallout, I'm going to go ahead and dip back into that peachy color and place a little bit more on the lid, following up with, again, the e.l.f. dollar blending brush. Again, this is available at Target. Next, what I'm going to go ahead and do is dip into my concealer, and you can use any concealer you have handy. This is why I used this one. It was right in front of me. And using a small concealer brush, I'm going to draw an angled line to just give it that crisp look. And we're going to blend that out shortly, so just keep watching. Next, take out our NYX cream shadow base in, I think it's Skin Tone. And we're going to place that under the brow bone in the highlight area. Going back into our Shany Cosmetics Boutique palette, we're going to dip into the lightest peach color at the bottom, and we're going to place this here into the the brow bone area to highlight, and also into the inner corners to just give the eyes, just brighten up the eye a little bit. And I place it on both eyes, obviously. Next, we're just going to go ahead and buff that line out using a larger concealer brush and dipping into my cream or powder foundation. We're just going to buff that out. Next, we're going to take a smaller precision brush. This one I came with My Glam, my monthly subscription. And we're going to dip into that darker chocolate. We're going to place that just kind of 3/4 of the way outwards towards the outer V on the lower lash line. And in the inner corner, we're going to place that light peach we had used in the brow bone. Next, I'm going to take my Wet n Wild cream shadow in black, or rather cream liner in black, and using a small precision brush by e.l.f. Studio Line. This brush is $3. We're going to go ahead and just fill in the waterline and the upper lash line. And don't worry about any mistakes you might make, because we will be cleaning them up, as you see me doing so right here, using a small concealer brush and then my larger concealer brush to kind of buff that out. Next, I'm going to take my Sonia Kashuk Volume Lashes and my Andrea Mod Lash Adhesive, available at Walgreens. Those Sonia Kashuk lashes are at Target. And using a pair of tweezers, I'm going to go ahead and place the lashes on the tweezers, blowing a little bit to make sure everything, the glue is tacky, and then just placing it on the base of my lashes. Go ahead and just press that in, and then using the flat end of the tweezers, we're going to just press it in even further. And now I'm using my finger here a little bit too, and just going to hold it in place just a little bit, pressing everything and making sure it's in there firmly. Then I'm going to use a thick coat of black mascara. This is by, I believe it's L'Oreal Voluminous Faux Cils Lashes. And that there is the look dime. Stay tuned, let's go right on into the face. For the face, I'm dipping back into my tan concealer and using my Essence of Beauty Beauty Blender sponge. I'm going to go ahead and place that concealer under the eyes to give just to highlight. I really do have a thing about just highlighting the upper cheek under eye area, just to brighten up the face. And I'm using obviously a concealer that is much lighter than my own natural skin tone, and that's how you make it look bright and alive. And I'm just using the base of the Essence of Beauty blending sponge to just blend that in. Then going into my BH Cosmetics blush and contour palette and using my e.l.f. Dollar foundation brush, I'm going ahead and just highlighting my cheeks, highlighting my nose, highlighting my forehead. Wherever the sun naturally hits, I'm using that creamy colored powder. Next, I'm going to go ahead and just take out my Milani. It's like a berry colored blush. It's called Mai Tai, but any berry colored blush will do. This is actually discontinued. And I'm going ahead and I'm placing it on, I'm making that fishy face and placing it on the contours of my cheeks. Blending all that in with the big blending brush or blush brush. Next, let's go to the lips. Gonna take out, I'm using my EOS lip balm here just because this lipstick we're gonna be placing is it's a little bit drying. I'm using my NYC Naughty Nude lip liner that I got at, I think, CVS for like $2. Lining the lips. It's a flesh tone brown, so that it just prepares you for that shocking pink I'm going to be placing on there. So you want to get a flesh tone or a nude lip liner on. And that there is Wet n Wild's Don't Blink Pink. It's a very, very bright kind of blue-based pink I'm putting on my lip there. And last but not least, I'm using my e.l.f. HD setting powder, going ahead all over my face with that just to polish up the look. And that is it, Dimes. Thank you so much for watching, and please rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, Dimes.